Hi guys, this is Başak. Here we are. I am a yoga therapist and teacher and an engineer. Welcome.
Yes, hello everyone. We is a podcast about learning, awakening, and empowerment, where spirituality and wisdom guide you to live with clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Oh, I have to turn on my
Yes.
speaker. Sorry. There I am. Welcome. Welcome to We.
Hello. Um, so today we are talking about a topic we call it we become what we think.
Yes.
So it's the yoga exploration of the mind, identity, inner transformation. What do you think about that, Kate? I think you have a quote.
Yes, I do have a quote. This is attributed, I'm sure many people have heard this, to Henry Ford. Whether that's according to Google, and we have to question that. But anyway, accordingly, he said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Wow.
Right?
Beautiful.
Yes. Whether you think you
Beautiful.
can or think you can't,
Yeah,
you're
because
right.
mind shapes the perception, emotion, right? Behavior, relationship, really your path.
Absolutely. Your outlook, your path, how you react to everything. I would suggest that one would think about the way you talk to yourself, you know?
Oh
That's
my God,
something,
like
right?
that's what yoga says, right? They say what we
Exactly.
repeatedly think, we gradually embody.
Exactly. So one of the first things that when I sort of had this realization about how strong our minds are is to start to just stop myself when I was berating myself because you don't realize it. What am I saying to myself? Am I saying I'm not good at this? I'm not good enough? Da, 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 all these things. And when you stop that, it opens up a whole new way of being. Do you agree?
Yeah, because, again, according to yoga, every repeated thought strengthens your mental pathway,
Yes.
right? So, and we may believe that we see reality, but often what we are seeing is our conditioned patterns,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, that's something that to look at, as we increase our awareness through practice. Are we living consciously or are we rehearsing old mental habits, right?
Right. So how do you stop that? So, I said that I just sort of tried to look at myself and listen to my thoughts. Do you have any other suggestions about how?
Well, before
Yes.
we go there, let's talk a
Okay.
little bit more about that. That's
Okay.
probably, yeah, let's see how we can delve into that more, right?
Okay. Good.
So, if you look at life as it's shaped by circumstances, right?
Right.
Life is
Hmm.
happening to me, and
Yes.
I'm just like riding this wave and responding to what's happening to me constantly. But it's really more about than the consciousness that how you meet them, with which consciousness you are meeting those situations, right? Because there is this yogic concept of samskaras, or we call mental impressions or patterns, which are shaped from childhood, from trauma, from, fear or praise or the culture that you grew up in.
From
These
previous
all leave
lives,
impressions.
if you believe
Yes.
in that too. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, previous lives, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, and over time, these impressions becomes an identity, right? Now we have these like what you said, negative talks. I'm not enough. I must achieve to be loved, or people always leave,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So in yoga, like we are not talking about becoming someone new or not addressing these thought patterns. We are just talking about seeing these patterns
Right.
first, right? Clearly. Because if you see them, then you can maybe consciously stop them. But first, it requires seeing them.
Right.
If you focus on the all the fear or comparison, lack of support, that is continuing in your psyche as what you are focusing, right? Because
Right.
whatever you focus, you're going to see more and more of that.
Right.
Like this buying a red car, like all of a sudden also is red cars everywhere.
Exactly. That's a good example. Right. Right.
So we want to first draw the attention from recognizing what is, but then rather than going into that, choosing differently.
Right.
And we have, ways to do that in yoga. Like, what are some of our practices?
Well, slowing down,
Yeah.
breathing, right? Pranayama, taking
Yes.
time. That's one of the
Yes.
main things. The more I get into yoga, I feel like it's just all about slowing down, right? And finding the moments between, those spaces between. That's where the miracles happen. That's where you find truth, in those moments in between. So it's that same thing. So I love your analogy with the red car. So if you don't want to keep seeing red cars, what do you got to do? You've got to say, other cars could possibly exist.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, oh, I see a lot of red cars. Yes, I acknowledge that.
right.
What other cars are there?
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, there's yellow cars. Actually, yellow
Yeah,
cars are very ugly, but yes, there are
I
yellow
know.
cars, and maybe that's a nicer ride. And so then you're, as you're saying, you make yourself very aware. It's self-reflection. It's just looking into yourself and being able to be honest with yourself, which I think,
Self-reflection, you said it's
yeah,
self-study, we call it in yoga,
yes,
right?
but
So
yeah,
you,
yeah,
you mentioned breath, you
hmm,
mentioned self-study,
yes,
reflection. Then there's, of course, meditation,
of
right?
course,
To quiet the mind.
yeah,
Because why we are saying slow down? Because mind is very fast.
yeah,
And we are so proud that our minds are very fast.
yes,
But we are missing connection
yeah,
to ourselves when we are constantly operating in the mind. So to slow down the mind, we have to slow down physically
yes.
and energetically with our breath. And then the mantra comes to mind, right? Because everything you say to yourself is a mantra.
Absolutely. I love it. That is so true. So
And you
what?
believe in what comes out of your mouth, you're more convicted to that, or you listen to that more than somebody else's words.
Yep.
So, but if everything comes out of your mouth is a mantra, then one has to stop and think, what mantra I want to listen?
Yep.
What helps me?
Yep.
Right? So then this also requires this discernment, viveka, we call it in yoga, where you are not your thoughts.
Right.
You
Yep.
So who are you?
Good question.
So
I
we
am the
say,
observer.
yes, you are the
Yeah.
awareness witnessing them.
Hmm. Hmm.
You are the observer. Exactly.
Yeah.
So in meditation, we don't stop the thoughts, we observe them.
Yeah.
We detach from our thoughts. So that means that we are no longer ruled by our thoughts.
Yeah.
We can't change them. We can't feel that power to change them.
So do you have examples? Well, you don't, it doesn't have to be personal, but examples of how or what you've changed, like what thought patterns you might have changed, or
Yeah.
maybe you have friends. Yeah. So can you share?
Yeah, I mean, like the thought comes to my mind also, like, who are you without the constant narration of the mind,
Yeah.
right? Because mind is constantly telling you, like for my case, I was a corporate person, I was, in my upbringing, you be successful, right? You become someone, you be independent. This was embedded in me,
Hmm.
instilled in me.
Hmm.
And then I believed in that. That's, for me to have value, feel that value, I need to be successful. I need to be, strong. I need to be full focus, like, which are all good things. But again, if you go a little too much, it's like I was giving an example today in class. It's like we treat our bodies like a machine sometimes, but it's actually an instrument, right?
Yeah.
And if you over tighten the instrument with these thought patterns, like you become rigid, and the sound is rigid, right?
Ah, I love it. Yes.
But if you loosen it too much, then there is no sound.
Yes.
So we need to find this medium to find that beautiful sound.
Beautiful.
So, um, That's how it is. Like if we constantly have a narration and we are unconscious about it, then you're not giving you any other choice to allow space to explore yourself. Who am I outside of these?
Right. Well, so I was just thinking about a way that you can start to get into understanding how to do this for yourself with your own mind, and something that we all make judgments about people, right? You go about and you decide, oh, that person doesn't like me because of this or that. I would challenge people listening to this to take one of those assumptions that they make, like, oh, this person doesn't like me, and then go to that person with a different attitude. Like this person maybe just was having a bad day and
Not
actually does
knowing.
like me.
Yeah.
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 So, and you can do it, and it could be someone in the shop who you think is just giving you attitude, and is making you feel uncomfortable. But maybe if you go to them at the shop and you're very smiley and you chat with them, I mean, so you make the change. You take that and make the change and apply it and see what happens. And this is where you feel like the mind has power, because you can change the outcome. Maybe not all the time. Maybe that person's very depressed and you just can't, but
Yeah.
it's a challenge, and it's interesting when you start to do that, because then you start to see the power of your thoughts.
Yeah. And, anxiety thinking creates an anxious body, right?
Yeah.
It's the mind body are very much connected. Body affects the mind affects the body. So your posture changes according to your emotional states, your breath pattern changes according to your loops of your thoughts, you know. So noticing those also. Sometimes you don't notice the thought, but you can feel it in your body. How am I feeling right now? So it really requires such a fine tuning of that instrument that we are so conditioned as society to always look outside for answers, always see and judge others. But that's like such a limited point of view, right? It's there's so much more to explore within ourselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think we use that as a distraction, not to really face what's kept going on here. So
Yes.
we push it outside.
Right. And blame outside, blame this, blame that. Yes.
Right. So in yoga, we have this concept of sankalpa, right?
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
conscious inner direction. So, and it's not a goal really. It's more of a aligned with heart and soul, this statement, this inner statement,
Right.
right? So it's not like an ego affirmation, but it's more like a conscious intention, right? Some examples could be like, I trust life that I can soften, or I return to my essential nature, or I choose presence over performance.
Yes. Yes.
Like that kind of things I feel are helpful to find that alignment when there's a negative thoughts comes up. I go back to my sankalpa. That's
Yeah.
not who I am. I am this, because
Yes.
I came up with that too. So there's an inner knowing, right?
Right, right. No, I love that. And I this is another sort of exercise, quote unquote, that I was thinking about doing in alignment with that, is that if you look around at your life right now and you see what's in your life, like maybe it could be materialistic in the sense of like the apartment or the house you have,
Yeah.
and who's in your life, and think about what brought those into your life, particularly, I mean, obviously the good things, the things that you think are healthy for you and make you feel good, and just think back to how did that happen, maybe that will then sort of drop you into the space of what the true sankalpa is, like, so it's just and it then will make you be able to say, wow, if I brought those good things into my life, how can I now in this next 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 3 months, try to create something
Even moment by moment, right?
even
in this
moment by moment. Yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Because, so if you think that sankalpa, it's not really a positive thinking alone either. It's not,
Right.
that's not what we're saying.
It's not.
We're not
It's different.
suppressing anything, right?
Yes, Yes.
We are not suppressing thing and just coming up with something better than that, right?
Right.
So we first want to be honest with ourselves, right? Radical honesty too. Remember that I was reading from Chidrupananda's poem
Yes.
last time. It was about being so truthful that it is beyond your comfort. Like,
Yes.
it really does require that honesty first, because without that honesty, how can you transform anything?
I know.
It's superficial.
I
It's
know.
very surface, right?
I know.
So that's the first step, I feel like, being able to have these open eyes and really see who you are in all those moments and then choose differently.
And I mean, you say that, and it's so humbling because, even your own mind makes up these stories to justify things,
Oh,
You
mind
know?
is so strong.
I know.
Yes,
And
very,
so
very.
sometimes I try to catch myself like, don't justify it, you just messed up or you were not kind, Kate, then, and you got to recognize it. And
I read this
yeah.
somewhere. It says real transformation is not decorating the ego with spiritual language.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of that going on these days, right?
Yes. And
With spiritual language, I know.
yeah, I mean, to me,
I know.
like, that transformation sometimes cannot even be expressed with language.
No.
It is so internal experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a meditation. You ask someone, what do you experience in meditation? Sometimes you can't
Yeah.
express it,
Yeah.
right? It's like that.
Yes.
But
Well,
of course, language is very powerful and influential. No question about that.
no. No, but you have a very good point. That's another thing that can slow you down. Another thing that you can use on a daily basis is rather than uh, reacting to everything with vocally or mentally, start to say, how does it make me feel? Like start to do more of a feeling reaction. It might give you that space and it might just sort of shift your perspective in a way that is useful to you. I mean, everybody's different. Everyone's going to do it differently, but it's just another tool
But
to,
also, like, we are also living collectively, right? There's this collective consciousness we are creating with each thought, each word, each movement.
right,
So, just to tap into that and think about what kind of world am I creating, you know, and how am I contributing to the fear or division or speed or consumption of this world?
right,
Because we know that collective transformation cannot happen without personal transformation,
right, right.
right? So we have a responsibility in that way too, not to just blame and complain about what's happening. How am I contributing to what's happening?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That can be very overwhelming. But it's a very good point. Yeah, it's a very good point.
So I have some personal reflection questions for you
Are we there? Okay,
as
let's
we
do
as we weave into this.
that. Okay, tell me. Uh-oh. All
I
right.
mean, we can talk more about this, but
No,
I think we
yeah.
can maybe explore these questions, for
Okay,
maybe it
good.
would be good for the listeners too.
Good.
Um, I'm gonna get intimate, so be ready. No.
Uh-oh.
What thought have you repeated most in life, in your life?
What thought have I most repeated? Oh, that's so difficult. Because it has changed over the years, right? Um, I think nowadays, um, the good thing is that I say I'm so lucky or I'm so grateful. Like
Oh,
that is a thought. But I think earlier in my life, it was definitely I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. What do I do? I'm
how
not.
do you think you could transform that thought to I am grateful and I have what I have? Like, how did that transform, do you think?
I think that transformed when I stopped identifying so much with outer success,
Ah,
right?
yeah.
And I started to realize, what is, or question, what is the point of life and what's really important to me. But it took those kind of questions for me to,
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
honesty it took,
Yeah. Yeah.
just like what we were saying.
Yeah.
Another question. This is beautiful answer, by the way. Which thought patterns you have inherited? Ta-da.
Oh. Oh.
I told you it was gonna get personal.
Oh. What thought patterns have I inherited? Um, it's a very good question. It's very difficult to answer because I've never really thought about that. The surface, because I think I'd inherited them differently from different parents, you know. Um,
Mm.
but I think, to be honest, there's probably a little bit of a sense of superiority.
Say more.
What? Yeah. Well, a little bit of, and I recognize it because I don't believe in it, you know, in some sense. But I think there was a little bit of like, and maybe superiority isn't right, but maybe it sort of ties into this thing like you should be successful because you've had all these things that, you know, put you on this path to do this or to do that. And if you choose not to do those things, then you are choosing the wrong thing. So I don't know if that's superiority, but it's just sort of this sense of that you were
That
meant
you
to.
are better than others, so you should succeed.
Maybe
Maybe.
that's a more blunt way of saying it.
Right.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's, I don't believe that that was,
That's why the whole "I'm not enough" came up.
yes,
Right. So
yes,
that was where
yes,
actually that um, inherited thought had added on top of it another thought,
yes.
because that's kind of again unreachable perfection, and then you had to like counter that to make
Right,
it digestible,
right.
right? That's what we do.
And I think that didn't come necessarily from my parents, but came from their parents. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It goes
sure.
back and back, you know?
Ancestral.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Do I
So
get to ask you these questions or?
no, no,
No.
let me finish.
Okay,
So
okay. And I
when
hope
did
people are answering themselves, right? They could be
yeah,
writing
that's what
it
that's
down.
the goal, really.
Yes. Yeah.
When did you realize your mind was not always telling the truth?
I I think I knew it in my gut pretty early, you know, but I think I didn't really know how to express it until I understood the language of yoga. And until
Yes.
yes. So then
That's
there was a
that's
way,
perfect. Yeah.
yes, that was the way I learned to say, ah, you know, this is not who I am, and it's saying false things, and I'm getting caught up in this cycle, and no, 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 no. So, yeah, that would be
So
my
then that was my question. Has yoga changed the way you speak to yourself? And that's basically what you
a
answered.
100%, 100%. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
so grateful because it's interesting. We were talking about how it's not all language, but yoga has given us, you know,
Language.
and but to the point about having knowledge and having realized knowledge, it's realized knowledge now
It's
because
practiced.
it's practice. You physically feel it, you mentally feel it, you
I think
spiritually
that's
feel
what's so special about yoga.
it.
There's a huge philosophy aspect of yoga, ancient philosophy, books and books and books written about everything you can imagine.
Yeah,
But until you can learn them, and it's great, but until you do the practices,
yeah,
then you align, then you really understand.
right.
Because philosophy is so dense that by itself, to understand that without practicing is just not really
Right, and
possible.
I think that's why I've so dove into yoga because I was a very physical person, you know, I love that, but I'm very intellectual too. And you know, I never really studied much philosophy in school, even though I was drawn to it because it felt dry in some way. You know, I couldn't really like, but when the two came together in yoga, it was like it explodes, like you can actually feel philosophy. I'm feeling philosophy, you know,
Yes, you're
not
becoming
just
a
sounding.
philosopher.
Yes.
Yes. So, what mainly for you, what personal practices help you interrupt that mental loop?
It depends, depends what type of loop I'm in. but
let's say destructive mood, right?
oh, in the
Destructive mood.
destructive, yeah, because that's what kind of the negative thing. Well, I think the physical practice is very good for that. And, and people can interpret that. They can go for a run. There's other ways to do
Yeah,
it. Not
get out of the mind into the body.
exactly. So that's the first step, I would say. And then it would be sitting down and meditating. That's the second.
Just observing thoughts passing.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Or doing a meditation that we've learned from our teacher, Yogi Charu, sort of tantric thing that's very focused and sort of gets your mind focused on something else. That's sort of,
Focusing on something else that is more, yeah,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's more on the path of creating that deeper connection with yourself.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like we are learning these mystic practices now. Just really, we are opening our internal senses, right? The hearing, sensing. It's
yeah,
basically we are improving proprioception, right? Our nervous system regulation that we get so sensitive
yep,
and we have more of a understanding of what our body is speaking, even if it's not verbal speech. So yeah, anyway, without
yeah.
going
It's fascinating for people who are interested, because there's so many. Some people know what the chakra system is, but there's so many more chakras, and that's what we're delving into, and it's absolutely
minor chakras, yeah,
it's fascinating. Go to
fascinating.
yogicharu.com if you want to know more.
Yes, yes. So I think that, if we become what we think, you know, then every moment we have an opportunity to become free. What do you think of that?
I think that's beautiful and intense. Um,
Yeah.
how would you put that in practice?
So
What do you,
it's like it almost invites not thinking too much, right? If you're constantly thinking, then you are not present,
yes,
right? You cannot be in your body and really feel and sense if you're constantly trying to figure things out in the mind.
yes,
That trying to frame things all the time is a bondage, right?
yes,
What if I literally think of like as a frame, like inside the frame I put myself, right? If I'm thinking and trying to figuring out things, I'm inside this frame of this thought.
yes.
But if I don't try to figure it out and just observe and be
Ah,
present,
yes.
then maybe I am a little bit out of that frame
So it's the detachment process. It's being detached somewhat. Is
of
that
your
what you were saying?
from your thoughts.
Yes,
Because also thoughts are like so motor like, right?
yes,
Constant and unconscious most of the time. And completely coming from the past. I experienced this before, so this is what it is. Well, who says? Even with your partner, right? You think that you know exactly what they're going to say next because they may have their ways, patternistic ways, right? But then you lose the ref, refined, like underlying moment by moment feelings
yeah,
that may be expressing themselves through a limited vocabulary that they may have.
yes,
So that's the thing. It's almost like listening, like I'm talking about mystic yoga again. I'm going back to this like listening, inner listening of not what is said, but through the whole body is interconnected mechanism, what is being communicated.
right, right. That's a lovely way to think about it. And I think I've been doing that with my partner, and I haven't phrased that, but I think I have been less reactive to what is said and taking that, like, as you said, so stepping out of the frame and saying, wait, look at the whole thing. And you can do this quickly because you know your partner, what is he or she or they been going through, and oh, why that's why they're saying this, and just relax because he really or she or they mean this, not that. And then you don't go down some negative path. You're just right. You're just accepting that person. But I would add to that with your thing about the frame and reframing is that if you step out of the frame, where are you? And I've been thinking about where do I land? And I've been trying to land, and you could choose whatever, but I've been trying to land in joy, like operating from joy.
Oh, I love that. See, that's beautiful. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, that's the next step. Okay, I'm free. Now what?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
then you
that
can choose what does that mean for you personally.
exactly, exactly. And right now, I feel like I've got to be in joy because been dealing with various things with family members, which I won't get into. And you can't hold on to the tensions that I've got to release into joy because,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that so much for you. It's
good.
interesting, and I'm going to mention this here.
Okay.
Don't kill me. You have a reunion coming up at your school, Yale, where
Yes.
you graduated from,
Yes.
and you have a little bit resistance to go to reunion. You just want to meet with the people you know and love
Yes.
before the reunion.
Yes.
So that's also like a conditioned pattern, isn't it? In a
Well,
way. I mean, you
Bashak,
can choose whatever you want again, but just to like look at
what are
that,
you
like,
saying?
because I didn't like
No,
some people.
it is. It is. It is a conditioned pattern in that there are situations that I did not love about
Right.
my time there. Absolutely. But now is different.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It
And
absolutely.
again, choice
Yes.
is yours. You choose
Yes.
powerfully.
Yes.
But it's
Thank
just
you.
interesting that we all do this,
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. You're
right?
absolutely right. No, yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. You're
Yeah.
very funny.
Sorry.
I do love you.
I love you
You're a
too.
very good therapist. You're a good therapist. If anyone needs a session,
Oh
give
my
her a
God.
call.
Well,
It's
thank
true.
you.
But can I ask you, so
Mhm.
where are you operating from now? So if you have this box that you're trying to come out of, what are you leaning into these days?
I think for me it's really love because
Ah,
I
yes.
I do feel I have a genuine love about people
Yeah.
and things and
Yes.
animals and
Yeah.
I really feel that like if I see a person on the street, whether they are intense and maybe they are like begging or they are what or they are so happy and smiling, either way my first instinct is always like love them.
Yeah. That's great.
Love them so much that sometimes brings me tears into my eyes. I'm not joking. I literally sometimes I look at a person, I get like teary.
No, I
If
get you.
if we have a little like a eye connection in that moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do feel my always go to is loving people
Yeah. That's
or feel
beautiful.
love.
Yeah, because it's that connection. Like we are all the same, we
Yeah.
are all come from the same source. And when you
Yeah.
can see that,
And not more and more, I was talking about this with one of my students, and the thought starts to come up is anything can happen to anybody at any given time. Some people may be having more difficult or more absorbent, like incredible experiences than you today. But consider that you can have that experience one day in your life because there's so much unknown that we don't know and we can't control.
yes.
So having that outlook, I think, is just so that creates that bind with people. Like you're bounded with each other, and you appreciate and sympathize and empathize for everybody's experience.
Yeah, 100%. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you for
It's
that.
really good. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
I think we are at the. I don't know. I didn't
Okay.
like my timing is never great, but I think we are at the end.
So I just to sort of put a little point on what you just said. I like so we were talking about how your mind is so strong, it can create your future, right? But you have to, with that sense, you also have to sort of let it go because you can't control everything, right? You can only control certain things. But I like to think of it, what do you think of this analogy? It's kind of like almost like you're a rock, and you know how a wave goes on the rock and slowly shapes the rock, so if you think of your thoughts as these waves that are slowly shaping, what kind of shape do you want to make,
Yeah, and it's not probably a rock because rock would take a very long time to shape. I think we take
Okay.
much faster, but it's a great
Yes,
analogy.
but the idea of that,
Or maybe lifetimes of a rock.
yes, maybe it's over lifetimes of the
Yes, I
rock.
love that
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Like I
So
have,
that don't be feel bad if it doesn't what you want, whatever that is, or what you want to doesn't happen tomorrow. Maybe it will, but you got to. It's just this constant practice,
yeah,
right?
and like we say it in practice, right? It is about not achieving something, but removing all the things in front of it, like all the limitations or thoughts that are not allowing that thing to happen. And sometimes it's very unconscious. The thoughts can be very unconscious, but
Right.
or subconscious, that is constantly running in the back of the mind that you're not even aware of it.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to all of a sudden become aware of it, but
Right.
just having that inquiry that might open up. What is running in the background that I'm not really having the experience I want?
Yeah, that's a huge point that maybe we should have landed on earlier, because that's true. Because when you look at yourself, you may not see those things that are outside the frame a little bit that are running you,
Right.
So that's
That's why
why,
you come and do some coaching,
yes, or that's
some
why you
some
sit and you
therapy.
find some meditation that you like where it will help you dig in
Find
and
a
notice those
teacher
things.
that
Yeah,
will guide you.
yeah.
Find it. It's such a beautiful thing. Yesterday, Yogicharo in our philosophy class made a really nice analogy. He said, let's say that you want to find a destination place. Do you trust somebody who tells you, I think I know where it is. Let me think. Maybe you have to take this road or maybe that road. Or do you trust somebody who says, I just come back from there. I know exactly where it is and I'll tell you where to go.
I love that.
So
That is,
you find someone who
yes,
has had experiences, who can relate to you
yes,
and that can teach you. I
yeah,
think that's a really important aspect.
yeah. Very good. Yeah, I love
Well,
that.
let's end there. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thank you, Kate, for all the
Yes.
nice brainstorming and heart opening.
Thank you for my analysis today. I appreciate it. I hope it helped other people.
I hope
But this
so.
is a
That
very
was the
interesting
goal.
conversation, and our minds are, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Remember that?
Yeah.
That thing we used to
Yeah,
say,
it's
but the mind
beautiful.
is so powerful, so use it wisely.
Use it wisely. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.